All right, I'd like to call the town council meeting to order. If you can please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilman Hobson will now read the names of any police officers that have been killed since our last meeting.
Deputy Sheriff Joshua C. Phipps of the Russell County Sheriff's Office in Kentucky. End of watch Monday, September 16th. Cause was gunfire. Police Officer David Lee of the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department, Missouri. End of watch Sunday, September 22nd. Cause was vehicular assault. Deputy Constable Ruben Garcia of the Cameron County Constable's Office, Precinct 1, Texas. End of watch Monday, September 30th. Cause was vehicular assault.
Do we have an opening prayer, please?
Sorry, I was hiding. Let us pray. Lord, we ask you to be with our community, be with our leaders that are meeting tonight. Allow them to keep focused on what is best for the town and just what will be the best decisions made to make the town even better than what we already are. So we ask you to be with the families of those of the officers that were red, give them peace and comfort, and also watch over our officers and our fire department, EMS, and all those that provide service to us in the time of need. We just ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
We have a roll call, please.
Councilmember Jim Marker, Councilmember Larry Balla,
Present.
Council President Rick Ripa,
Present.
Councilmember Melissa Robbins, Councilmember Tony Hobson.
Present.
Each member has received a copy of the September 17th minutes. What's the pleasure of the council?
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The motion carries. Could we have the claims, please?
Claims totaling $1,853,240.53.
Move to approve the claims.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The motion carries. Could we have the announcements, please?
We have two announcements this evening. There will be a town council executive session on Tuesday, October 22nd at 6:30. There will be a study session after the meeting if necessary. Item number two, the next town council meeting will be on Tuesday, October 29th at 7 p.m. There will be a study session at 6:30 and one will follow if necessary. This will be for the adoption of the 2025 budget.
Thank you. We have any communications? Reports, Public Works?
Yeah, a couple things. Just a reminder that leaf pickup will start on Monday, October 21st, and go through December 10th. And if you need to see the zones, it's posted on the website as each zone and what days it's being done. So next week, leaf pickup starts around town. And another reminder, this Saturday is the hazardous waste disposal. That's at our Public Works building, and that covers items that you can't normally put in the garbage, paint, oil, et cetera, things like that. So just a reminder, that's 9 to 2 this Saturday, for anybody who might have interest in doing that, as long as, and also shredding. We have the shredder there for the Shred Fest as well. Another thing, the federal government and the state have, I'm sure you've heard, has asked everyone to take inventory as they're trying to make sure they eliminate any lead lines anywhere in municipalities across the country, cities, etc. Our report is due tomorrow, so our initial findings, we did 90% of the residents through the water meter replacement thing, and there we found no lead. And then we did a random sampling of different eras on the town end and pipes that lead to the B-box that go to your house. And why it's not 100% of everything, we found no lead there. So as of right now, we have not found any lead issues in Griffith. Doesn't mean there won't be something that might come down the road, but overall, we're looking pretty good. That report will be turned in tomorrow. and then it's up to the federal government and the state how they're gonna move forward on all of that, where some of the municipalities like Chicago have a much bigger problem with that, so.
All right,
So far, so good there. That's all I have.
all right. Any report from the police chief?
No report.
Fire?
No report.
And there's no finance report. This time we'll open the floor for public comment. If anybody has a comment on any of the agenda items, now would be the time to request, ask that before we take a vote on it, on any specific agenda item. There'll be time to comment, there'll be public comment afterwards on anything else.
The agenda items is what you've already gone through?
No, if you have
The
a
new
question
business 5, yeah.
on the 1 through 5, on the agenda items, before we vote on them. Okay, then there'll be time afterwards for public comment as well. All right. We'll go straight to new business. Mr. Hobson?
Yeah, I have a request for alcohol permit for a handball tournament at October 19th, on October 19th at our handball facilities. I'd like to make a motion to approve that.
I'll second that.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Next is our budget hearing for the 2025 budget. Make sure, Gina, it's been properly advertised?
Yes.
Yep, okay, so we will open up the hearing. Mr. Hobson, if you'd like to read the budget.
This is a notice to the taxpayers. Complete details of the budget estimates by fund and/or department may be seen by visiting the office of this unit of government at Griffith Town Hall, 111 North Broad Street, Griffith, Indiana, 46319. Notice is hereby given to the taxpayers of the Griffith Civil Town, Lake County, Indiana, that the proper officers of Griffith Civil Town will conduct a public hearing on the year 2025 budget. Following this meeting, any 10 or more taxpayers may object to a budget tax rate or tax levy by filling an objection petition with the proper offices of Griffith Civil Town, not more than 7 days after the hearing. The objection petition must identify the provisions of the budget, tax rate, or tax levy to which the taxpayers object. If a petition is filed, Griffith Civil Town shall adopt the budget, a finding concerning the objections in the petition, and testimony presented. Following the aforementioned hearing, the proper offices of the Griffith Civil Town will meet to adopt the following budget. I'm going to turn that over to our clerk treasurer.
So our budget estimate is $32,112,209. Our maximum estimated funds to be raised, including appeals and levies exempt from maximum levy limitations, $12,922,742. Our excessive levy appeals is $505,000, and our current tax levy is $11,139,238.
Okay. All right, at this time, as being a public hearing, is anybody here to speak for or against the budget that was presented? Anybody here to speak for or against? All right, motion would be in order to adopt the budget.
So moved.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Could we have a roll call, please?
Larry Balla,
Approve.
Rick Rifa,
In favor?
Tony Hobson.
In favor.
All right, the 2025 budget has been adopted. Next, the resolution for it, next it will be up for final adoption on October 29th. Okay. All right, next item is board appointments. So take nominations for Stormwater Board.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to nominate Mr. John Volkman for the Stormwater Board.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to nominate John Volkman. Any other nominations? Seeing no other nominations, all in favor of appointing John Volkman to the Stormwater signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The motion carries. Open up nominations for the Sanitary Board.
Mr. Chairman, I would nominate Mr. John Volkman to sit on that sanitary board.
Second.
Motion and a second to nominate John Volkman. Are there any other nominations? Nominations are closed. All in favor of appointing John Volkman to the Sanitary Board signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. John Volkman is appointed. We do have one other open board for a park board appointee, so if anybody would be interested, just please contact the clerk treasurer's office and submit a resume or your interest. Next item, we have a top park encumbrance deed. Mr. Estrada, can you explain the purpose of this?
Yeah, the park board applied for a DNR grant, about, I believe about $500,000 was awarded, and part of the process required that we can go over a couple pieces of parcels to get the full amount, so that's why the town fees.
All right, so we have a document, a warranty deed, basically stating that this is happening. Mr. Hobson, if you wanted to handle that, please.
Yeah, we have that warranty deed that Mr. Estrada described. That needs to be signed by our town council president, Mr. Rifa. I'd like to make a motion, go ahead and allowing him to sign this warranty deed.
Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The motion carries. All right, the last item on the agenda is a hearing, business license hearing for Midwest Auto Business. Do we have anybody from Midwest Auto here present?
Yes.
Generally, appointing parties when that's not the case.
Okay, if you, or if you can please state your name and who you're representing.
My name is Rebecca Wyatt. I'm an attorney, and I represent Midwest Motor Incorporated and its owners. I do not have Mr. Alzubi here with me this evening because he has a family emergency. However, I do have his partner here, and I have reviewed the permit applications that they've made to the town and spoken with both of the attorneys, Estrada and Vela, regarding this. I understand that the town is interested in revoking their, or failing to renew their business license.
I would say the town isn't interested in anything right now except determining what the facts are and then making a judgment after that.
Okay, the letter that I received said that it was, but that's good, because.
It's a hearing to possibly revoke the license.
Right. The town ordinances that are in there say that to violate it, one needs to be acting intentionally or willfully, and that is not the case in this situation. My client submitted an application for a permit to do asphalt installation. They submitted that on May 30th. It was submitted with a proposal from the contractor who was to do the work that included excavation, and it said that there would be excavation that was done and that it would be properly disposed of. So there was no intent for them to violate the town's code.
Okay, you know what? Let's, maybe we can have some evidence presented first.
Okay.
So some of us might not know what you're talking about right now
Okay.
until we see what's happening.
Well, I'd be glad.
Mr. Estrada?
Yeah, I would recommend, thank you, Attorney Wyatt, but it's Mr. Vega's case in chief, so he will prosecute it. He should be allowed to take, to provide evidence in support of his petition, and then you go always provide your testimony afterwards, which is generally the way we conduct these. So, but before we get into that, if either of you have any witnesses you plan on having here today testify, they should all stand up, and Mr. Reichman would swear them in.
All right, Do you,
Did you want me to do it?
I can do it. Do you swear to tell the whole truth, the full truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Okay.
Mr. Vega?
Can you state your name for the record, please?
Stephen Stelk, S-T-E-L-K.
And where do you work?
I work for the town of Griffith.
And Steve, can you tell us how long you've been working for the town of Griffith?
I've been working for the town of Griffith in two capacities, one with the fire department for 30-plus years, and as fire marshal for 4 years, I believe, and code enforcement for the past 3 years.
Okay. And Steve, I'm going to show you what I've already pre-labeled as Exhibit 1. If you can take a look at it, and then look up at me when we're done.
Hey, Steve, maybe you could speak into the mic.
Oh,
we
sure.
get a good recording, thanks.
All right, better. All right,
Do you recognize what Exhibit 1 is?
it's a business license
For what company?
for Midwest Motor Incorporated,
And where's the address located?
510 East Ridge Road in Griffith.
And who are the principal contacts and owners for this business?
I will not purposely mess this up because Adnan, yeah, thank you. I didn't wanna. And, Weil
Zuby?
El-Zubi.
If that's, okay. I'm moving to admit Exhibit 1. Any objections, Brian?
No objection.
I have one more which I'll present, but I'm just having him. So, Steve, is this the business that you've inspected since the business was granted a license back on June 25th, 2024?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Now, I'm going to show you what I've already pre-marked as Exhibit 2, Steve. They're photographs. Can you take a look at them? And excuse me while I give them to Ms. Wiley as well. That's 2. And then look up at me when you're done.
Yeah.
What are these pictures of?
These pictures are of the parcel, part of the lot that is just north of the building, the structure for Midwest Motor.
And can you tell, I'm moving to admit Exhibit 2. Any
No.
objections?
No objection.
Okay.
May I ask who took these photos?
I was gonna get,
Okay.
do you know who took the photos?
Yes, I took those photos.
Okay. Now, Steve, can you tell us what do you see wrong with these photos?
There's two items in that photo. One is the grading and filling of the grass without any permits and engineering drawings as far as the water runoff. The second one is the trailers that are on there. They're temporary office trailers which are not even allowed in town for any reason.
And was there any permit acquired to put those trailers there at all?
No, one would have never been issued due to the fact that they're not allowed.
Okay. Now, Steve, can you tell us generally, after June 25th, what items have you noticed at the business that are wrong, either because no permit was acquired or other things that you've noticed of the property?
Our biggest concern has been the fact that it was operating as a body shop, specifically with spray painting and cannibalized cars are part of a body shop business, but the business was never licensed or allowed to be a body shop.
And was that something in the business application from Exhibit 1 that they were allowed to do?
There was never any any part of the detail type of work of operating a body shop, so that was done out of the scope of what their license allowed.
So that's different than someone who doesn't know cars as well as probably you. That's different than a mechanics type.
Absolutely.
Hey, can you explain to the board the difference between the two, a body shop and a mechanics permit?
Mechanics is anything mechanical on a car, frame, engine, transmission, all your moving parts. Body shop is crash damage, it's painting, it's bondo, it's a completely different realm than auto repair itself.
And why is it that that's not allowed in the area where this business is located?
It's not allowed due to its proximity, that it would be right inside of a residential area. And besides that, if it were to go to a body shop where spray painting was allowed, it needs to have the proper equipment through the EPA and through code.
Okay. And did you have any concerns with any gravel work that was done that might be affecting the neighbor's property as well?
Yes,
Can you tell us about that?
the backfill that was done on the north side of the lot, there was no engineering done on it, no permit, so I don't know. Right now, everything's packed, so all the water runoff heads straight for the neighbor's house.
Okay, I'm gonna show you what I pre-marked as exhibit 3. Can you take a look at it, all the pages, and then look up at me when you're finished? Okay. Do you know what you're looking at?
Yes, I'm looking at a permit application to do gravel work in the back part, fenced-in area of the business.
Okay. At this time, we're going to move to admit exhibit 3. Any objection, Ms. Wyatt?
No, but I would like to see where he sees the gravel installation in there.
You could do that on the
I'll get to it, and then you'll be able to cross.
And no objection.
For the board. Now, I see here that a description on the first page of work was asphalt installation, correct?
Correct.
On the first page. And then on the second page, I see excavation, remove existing soil base and haul away to an authorized dump site. And then there's more information regarding the new base and new asphalt. Now, what I want to draw your attention to is page 3, which is the plat survey.
Okay?
And you'll see there, I apologize to the board members, it's in gray. In my client's copy, it's orange. What is that orange?
The orange represents the area that is to the west of the business, and it is fenced in.
Okay, so the issue that you were talking about earlier regarding the gravel that was put in that's affecting the neighbor's property, is that this orange part here that you're noticing in page 3?
No, the area is marked grass.
Okay. And so what you're referring to isn't work that was granted a permit for on this permit exhibit 3, correct?
The work for the grass area,
Correct.
there was no permit issued or granted for that area.
Okay. So exhibit 3 doesn't cover that grass area?
No, it does not.
Okay. Now, I realize that the business tried to get more permits for more asphalt work from either Greenwood Landscaping and Artisto Construction. If I can approach, I'm gonna show you what I've labeled as exhibits 4 and 5. Can you look at these and then? I can even done this one's for. Okay, let's start with, what is this?
It's a building permit application.
Was this a permit that was granted?
That I would not know. I do not believe it was.
Okay. This was, I believe it says a date there of the application of, August 26th of 2024, correct? On the bottom.
Correct.
Okay. And I believe I see there that it says the general contractor is not licensed, correct?
That's what I see, yes.
Okay. I'm moving to admit Exhibit 4. Any objections? Bonnie?
No objection.
Now, moving on to Exhibit 5. Thank you. What are we looking at here in Exhibit 5?
Exhibit 5, it appears that these are insurance.
Well, I believe in the first page is a contractor application, license application, correct?
Correct.
And you don't know if this application was granted, correct?
I do not know.
Okay. Do you know whether either of these two businesses, either the business in Exhibit 4 or the business in Exhibit 5, which is Artisto Construction, were the ones that did that work that wasn't allowed in the back of the business?
We have no proof on who did it. It wasn't there, and then come Monday, it was there. So there is no idea. It was Greenwood was a name that was brought up that could have been the contractor who did the work on the north side of the building. But there is no solid proof on who actually did the illegal work.
And can you remind me again, when did you first inspect the property and that there was a green area, and when did you notice that the area had been affected?
I noticed the area had been affected when I had taken the pictures with the trailers sitting there.
Okay. And that was?
So it couldn't have been more than a couple of days had passed, because the trailers were quite obvious.
Okay. And when you mean the trailers, you mean the trailers are in Exhibit 2?
Correct.
Okay. And I believe they have a date of August? I see here August 13th, 2024.
Okay, that's when I had noticed them then.
So it was around that time?
Yes.
Okay. So since this business license was granted back in June 2024, it seems that we've had several issues, one being the trailers, correct?
Correct.
Another being that the gravel work was done without a permit on the north side of the building,
Correct.
and which is causing flooding issues to the neighbors.
Correct.
And then most importantly, that it seems that the business was running as a body shop when they weren't given authorization to run as a body shop.
That is correct.
Is there anything else that this board should know when deciding to make this decision on whether to revoke this business's license?
And I think that pretty much covers the concerns that we've had there.
Nothing further at this time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any members have any questions for Mr. Stoll? Okay.
Ms. White has the
Oh,
opportunity
okay,
to
yes.
examine him.
Okay. Sir, did you issue a citation when you saw those trailers?
I did not issue a citation for the trailers. I did try to work with them to get them removed within 72 hours. And I
And
believe
they
we,
were removed in 72 hours, correct?
no, they were not.
I thought you brought a tow truck to remove it.
After almost 2 weeks of it was at least over a week of asking them to move the trailers.
Okay, and what date was did you bring the tow trucks to remove them?
I don't have that information in front of me.
Okay, but you, on the 13th, you noticed that it did not give a citation. And then you had tow trucks there to remove them.
I had the trailers red tagged for a 72-hour period of time, and I went beyond that period, that 72 hours, by an extra week,
Okay.
trying to give them an opportunity to move them.
Did you talk to them in the meantime?
Twice.
Okay. Did you, that tagging reminds me, did you just recently tag 2 cars that were on the property at Midwest Motor?
Yes, I did.
And what was that reason?
They were body shop cars that were not drivable, and they should not have been out in public.
Well, they were at the body shop, I mean, at the mechanics, it's not a body shop.
Correct, they were undergoing body work.
No, they couldn't have been undergoing body work, because it's not a body shop.
I
When,
have pictures if you want to see them.
when you stopped them from using the paint, did you give them a citation then?
I did not.
And did they stop using the
No,
paint?
they did not.
When did they stop using the paint?
The painting stopped after we received, on the fire department side, a call of a building fire because there was so much paint vapor in the air. The building actually appeared to be on fire.
Do you have any evidence of that?
I have evidence of a police report that's logged, yes.
Okay, but you didn't bring up what you...
I did not.
So you said that the gravel that was placed on the north side of their property, that's creating some flooding?
Correct.
Well, wouldn't the water just go through the gravel?
No, the gravel percolates different than grass and dirt.
When, oh, you said that type of temporary trailer is not even allowed in the city.
Correct.
But you didn't give them a citation for that.
No, I did not.
Okay, and where did you put those after you towed them?
They actually, the owners of the trailers actually took over and paid the tow company to take them a location of their choice.
Okay, so they're not in the town
They're
anymore?
not in the town, they did not get impounded. A deal was made to where they could have the trailers moved to a piece of property that they owned in Gary.
I've reviewed all of the citations all of the ordinances that my client is alleged to have violated, but I don't see an ordinance that prohibits a temporary trailer.
Okay, I don't have that information in front of me
But
right
you
now,
know
but it
that
is
there
there.
is such an
Yes.
ordinance. Okay, well, I can get that from the attorneys. So are you aware that they did have a permit for excavation at their first permit?
I was aware they had permit for the area behind the fence on the west side of the building.
Okay. And that was for, the amount proposed was $35,000.
If that's what it was, yes, I don't.
Okay. And then with the, the painting, you say that did not stop right away?
No, it did not.
Okay. Is everything stopped now?
Everything is stopped now. The business appears to be closed.
Okay, thank you. No more questions.
Mr. Stowe? Oh, yes.
Steve, could you read what I've written here as ordinance 2002-32?
Okay. Under that ordinance, no recreational vehicles, motor vehicle carriers, motorhomes, boats, boat trailers, recreational equipment trailers, and/or trailers shall be parked or stored in any front yard, any street, alley, lot, or beyond the nearest portion of the main structure to the street in a residential district except in a garage or carport. However, the above items may be parked anywhere on residential premises for no more than 72 hours during loading and unloading. Under no circumstances shall the above items be used for living, sleeping, housekeeping purposes when parked or stored on a residential lot or any location not approved for use.
And Steve, would those trailers that you saw that day on August 13th qualify under this ordinance that you just read? That shouldn't be there?
It shouldn't be there.
Now, I believe you testified that, although I don't have pictures here in Exhibit 2, but you have seen photos of cars being worked at as far as painting the vehicles and not anything work done mechanically to them, correct?
Correct.
No further questions.
Any board members have a question? A couple things to clarify.
Yes, sir.
You had mentioned some tow trucks. If you could please explain to us, what happened there when some tow trucks came and towed some trailers away? If you want to, real short.
Real short, I'd gone past the allowed time for the 72 hours. And at that time, I'd called and made arrangements with both of our towing firms that tow for the police department that each firm could come and grab one of the trailers so that we can get them off the property.
And those are the trailers that were in the first pictures we saw,
Correct.
is that correct? Okay, all right, just wanted to clarify that.
Correct, and the owners of the trailers made arrangements with the tow companies that rather they be impounded, they made arrangements to have them relocated to a different area.
Okay.
Which was okay with us as long as they were gone.
All right, and one last question, if you may. Do you have experience repairing cars, body shop experience, painting cars ever in your life at all?
I'm a retired 40-year auto mechanic, yes.
Okay. Would there be any way that you could think that somebody's painting when they're actually not painting a car?
No, not in this case.
Okay, and how do you believe that they were painting?
They were caught in the process of painting vehicles twice by myself, once by Chief Roy Schoon, Fire Chief Roy Schoon.
Okay. And are there any special permits other than the outside of the town requirements that they need to have in order to paint vehicles with the spray?
They have to have, there's fire code ordinances, there's EPA ordinances that all have to be followed.
How about permits or certifications?
There's anyone can paint a car, they don't need to be certified, but they do have to have the permits to set up.
No, for the facility to operate, not the
Yeah.
operator, but the facility
Correct,
itself.
they need permits and to set up a paint booth.
And those would be state, federal, or a combination of both?
I believe it's a combination of both because it deals with the E EPA.
Okay, if we get a chance to ask the defendant, we'll ask him that then, okay. All right, anybody else have anything else?
Ms. White, any questions based upon Mr. Vega's redirect or the question by Councilmember Rydell?
No.
Mr. Vega, anything?
No, nothing further.
Thank you. Any other witnesses, Mr. Vega? Ms. White?
Okay, I call my witness, Mr. Adnan. What is your relationship to the business, Midwest Motor?
The building is mine and Midwest Motor is a partner.
Okay. And so you have personal knowledge of the things that went on with regard to the permit applications?
Yes.
Okay. The first application for a permit, that was submitted on May 30th of 2024, correct?
Yes.
And did you have, who was the contractor you had hired to submit that application and do that work?
Okay, his name is Edgar, and we brought him over there. We told him, we need to do like asphalt in the back of it, in the west side of that building, and the front side of that building, and we need to do excavation on that area over there.
On the
On
north
the
side?
north side of that building.
Okay. And the
So-
north side is where the gravel is,
Yes,
where the
yes.
complaint is
Yes.
of.
So he said, okay, but I told him, because we have the first time we had the problem with the boat and with the trailer,
Mhm.
told him we cannot have anything illegal unless you go to the city and you get a permit.
Okay.
That's what I explained to him. He
Right.
said, okay, I will go. So
You
he
told
went-
him the whole area that you wanted to have
Yes,
asphalt?
yes. So
And-
he went to the city and he
Mhm.
got the permit.
Okay. And who highlighted that portion that's just on the west side of the building?
I don't know.
You didn't highlight it, right? You didn't say, this is all I want a permit.
No,
Was it your intention that you were getting a permit for the whole thing?
yes.
To asphalt the whole portions that are included in that drawing? And what was the cost for that asphalt installation?
For the asphalt and the west side of that building, 35,000, and with the back, 25,000.
Okay. And so when you, why did you instruct the contractor to work on the north side of the building?
Because he had the permit.
Okay. And you thought that you were in compliance with the town's regulations?
Yes.
And what happened when you found out that you were not? How did you find out that you were not in compliance?
Actually, we didn't find out until Mr. Steve, he came by, he said, you guys not allowed to do this. So
Okay.
we stopped,
Okay, and you stopped doing that
yes.
at that point? Okay. And then what were you advised to do by the town?
What do you mean?
Did they, what did they tell you you needed to do?
They say you need to get a permit for that.
Okay. And so did you get a different contractor
Yes.
to get the permit?
Yes, we
Okay.
got a different contractor, and he came to the city, and he's been waiting for the past month and a half
Okay.
for answer from the city.
And the exhibit that the town presented shows the date of that second permit as August 26th of '24. Is that accurate?
Yes,
Okay. And has that permit ever been approved or denied?
no,
So you're still waiting for that?
yes.
Have you been able to do any business at your shop?
Like,
Like
work outside?
mechanics? Yeah.
Yes, we did, we did, yes, yeah, we did.
And
But
you-
the business is not like used to be.
Right. Because of the lack of the permit, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so what do you want the town to do at this point?
Basically, what we need is just to get everything on the track. We're
Okay.
trying to do like the best, to do everything on the track with the city.
Okay. So have you ever intentionally violated any of the city ordinances or codes?
No,
Okay. And have you attempted to comply with them at all times? Have you tried to follow the instructions from the town?
yes,
You heard the inspector say that you didn't shut the painting portion of the business down right away. Is that accurate?
no, that's not true.
And so he came out on August 13th, and I think that's when he came, when he saw the trailers on there. And he's saying that he gave you 72 hours, but it was like 2 weeks before.
Another, we came here to the city, that, like me, Nami, my partner, he came to the city, and we was complaining why this two trailers not allowed to be here.
Right.
And they said that Mr. Steve said these had to be removed. So they said just give us a couple of days to get someone to take it for us. Because they come from Chicago, it's not easy to move these the trailers. And 2 days later, they said just give us to Wednesday, and I believe Wednesday they wasn't ready to move it. So like a day later, they come and pick it up.
Okay. And then when they had their tow companies pick it up, did you have to pay for that?
Yeah,
Okay.
1,500,
1,500?
yes,
Was that total?
yes,
Okay. But you were able to get them moved to someplace safe, correct?
yes.
Okay. Do you know if your business is in a residential district or is it in a commercial district?
I believe in the commercial.
And because when you bought the business, what it had been before?
Commercial,
All right, it had been the same kind of mechanic shop
yes, and a frame too.
in frame, okay. And how long had that been in business?
Like maybe 60, 65 years.
Okay. And when you say frame, you mean like a body shop?
It is not, maybe paint is not, I don't know, before how we was using it, but yes, it does body work too.
Okay, okay. And, so when you, what are you asking the town to do? To, allow you to renew your license and,
And to stay in business.
And
And we're
stay.
trying to make whatever possible to make it look nice.
okay. Oh, and, what are the plans for the fencing? You showed me today at the site, that you have plans for this, fence to enclose the whole area, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so that would mean that there would be no visual obstruction for the neighborhood, correct?
Yes.
I don't have anything else.
I just want to say one
Oh,
thing
yeah.
about the gravel. The gravel, there is no way to hold water, so the water is gonna go inside in the ground. There's no asphalt there to water to flood on the neighbor. This is impossible.
It's not, yeah. And it's not graded differently than it was
No.
before. It's the same.
And we haven't done the
Disintegrate.
whole area of the excavation.
Mhm.
So we just did like maybe less than half, because they stopped us. And since then, we haven't done anything in the property. Actually, we closed the business, we have no business.
Right. So you've been compliant because you haven't done anything.
No,
And you'd like to be able to
Yes.
continue your business.
we've been closed for the past 2 weeks.
Okay, nothing further. You should stay up
Mr.
here to
Vega?
see if Mr.
Ms. Wyatt, before Cross, can you give me the ordinance you cited previously when you first opened regarding intentional violation?
It's in the letter that I was sent by Attorney Vega. It's the first ordinance that talks about excavation. It says intentional and willful
All right, thank you.
near the beginning of that. Okay. so Mr. Vega.
Sir, I want to start off first with the trailers. Is it true that prior to the removal of the trailers that someone was living in one of the trailers?
No,
No one was living at the trailers?
no,
There was no items of clothing or anything found at the trailers?
you know, maybe closing gas for some time they change your clothes, but nobody moving and living there.
Okay. Let's talk about the asphalt section now. Can you tell the board what business conducted the work on the north side of the property with the gravel?
Okay, we're trying to do a fence on the north side of the building. So to remove that fence from the west side of the building, to make this area look nice to to Ridge Road Street. So to remove that fence to the north side of that building, cover the neighbor from seeing any junk cars or any whatever cars we put there to make it look nice for the neighbor and for us too.
I mentioned, what was the name of the business that did it, though?
You mean the
That did the
contractor?
work on the north side?
The contractor, you mean?
Yeah, what business was it that did that work? The name of the business?
You mean us business or the guy did it?
The contract.
Oh,
contract.
honestly, I don't know, the name,
You
but I
don't know-
could bring to you.
You don't know who did the work, sir?
I know the guy, but the name, honestly, I don't know.
It's the contractor who's on the first permit, Roy Sander.
Is that who did the work, sir?
Yes,
Did he tell you that he was approved to work on the north side of the property?
yes.
When did he tell you that?
When we ask him, we need to do all this work, he said, I get a permit and I do the job.
Now, sir, moving on to the body shop. Prior to June 2024, you were told by the town that that business couldn't operate as a body shop, correct?
Maybe my partner, I don't know, I mean, maybe, I wasn't like in this situation, maybe my partner would say,
But your partner never told you that you weren't allowed to operate as a body shop prior to June 2024?
no,
How close are you with this partner?
close.
Do you guys discuss business matters on occasion?
Honestly, not all the time.
How often do you guys discuss the business of Midwest?
Basically, every 3 months,
Every 3 months?
yes.
So, but in that time span prior to June, he never told you that the town contacted him regarding that business not being able to be a body shop? Is that what you're telling the board?
Okay, the business is not a body shop. It's not a body shop. The business is framing and axle, so they do some framing. Yes, we done 1 time or 2 time of paint, and we cannot lie for that. But after we got Mr. Steve, he came by, he said no paint, we stopped. We never paint.
So when did you guys paint? When was the last time you guys painted?
We, like month ago, like, when Mr. Steve stopped us.
So after the business
Like
license
that,
was granted?
exactly on 4th of July.
So you're telling the board that prior to July 4th, you didn't know that no painting was to be done on that property?
No,
Has the business done any painting after July 4th?
that's what I know, no,
As far as you know, no?
yes.
No further questions at this time.
All right. Excuse me. Any board members have any questions? Couple questions for you. So, when you first started speaking, you mentioned that you own the property and somebody else operates the business out of there. Did we hear that correctly?
Yes,
Okay, has that been from the very beginning, or that just happened recently?
no, from very beginning.
Okay, so, how often were you at that property when you first purchased it?
Like, I do, like, some work, I'm not always over there.
Okay, and the work that you do was more maintenance on the property, or car repair, or mechanic related?
No, just in the property.
Oh, so you clean up the property or do something?
Sometimes, yes.
Okay, so you don't do any of the body work at all, or not body work, or mechanical work? All right, and how long have you guys been operating in Griffith?
On the business,
Or how long has that business been operating?
the Midwest Motor,
Yes,
in 23.
so it's been over a year,
Yeah.
probably? Okay. So I guess, which company owns the building or the property, and which company is doing the business? Is it the same company or two
No,
different companies?
Different company.
Which company is the one that owns the property?
Abu Jar?
Okay. And then the Midwest Motors is the one that's operating the business. Have you guys subleased the property at all to anybody else?
No.
So there's been no lease, no other person on a lease, or,
Far as I know, no.
okay. And you would be the landlord in any case if that was,
Yes.
okay. All right. My concern is back to the painting. So at what time of the night or day were the painting normally done? Do you have any idea?
The paint, like I said, the last time of paint was the 4th of July, when the police came by.
Okay. Any idea how long you were painting before you got stopped?
Just touch up, you know? It's not a paint, the whole car, that's what I know. It's
Okay.
just touch up, no
All
paint.
right.
Like
Do we have any police reports from that July 4th weekend with us today?
Not with us, no, boy.
Okay. All right. Then the other part is the work that was done without permits. Obviously, that's very concerning, and I'm not sure if that justifies pulling your business license for that. Maybe it does. We'd have to look at that a little bit closer. But what do you have to say about that? You know, was that in fact happening, that maybe your contractors did some work without pulling the proper permits?
Honestly, that's what I told my contractor. I talked to him myself. I told him, we don't need to have any problem with the city. So we need everything to be like permitted. He
Okay.
said, yes, are you permitted with the graffiti? He said, I will go and ask. So when I explained to him, we need everything to be done in this area, he said, yes, I'll go, I'll get a permit. So once he got a permit, there is no like explanation in the permit which area you have to do whatever. So once he got a permit, he put it on the wall and he started working. That's
Okay.
what
Okay. All right. I guess the other thing is, do you know the people that were doing the actual painting? Was that one of your partners or the person that was running the business?
The people was, like I said, it's not painting. This used to be touch-up cars, some touch-up and stuff like that, but no paint.
So there was never any spray painting, never any fumes leaving the facility, not fumes, but clouds of paint?
Honestly, I didn't see, but when I say paint, yes, they did couple of touch-up, but after 4th of July, no at all.
Okay,
That's what I know. No paint at all.
okay.
And we have no work and no employees now, anyway.
All right, that's one thing I'd really like to see the clarification on when the painting was done and how long it was done and to what extent. And you can't answer that.
I'm sorry?
You aren't able to tell us how much painting was done, to what extent, what time of night or day or it was done?
Honestly, I don't have, because like I said, I don't go.
You weren't there when they were doing it?
It's not,
basically.
no, you're trying to say we are painting, but yes, we was doing the touch-up, yes.
Okay,
I'm not gonna lie about that.
okay. And when you touch up, was that just with the brush or was there any spray?
The spray,
There was spray?
yes.
Okay. All right. Anybody else have anything?
On the 4th of July, was there an incident?
Honestly, I have a call from a friend of mine, he said there is a police over there.
What time was that?
It was like nighttime,
Nighttime?
yes.
And was that incident, the person that was painting that day, obviously full paint, was that your partner for Midwest Motor, or was it somebody else?
No, somebody else.
So somebody else was using that garage to paint?
No, somebody, maybe the worker is not somebody else, but it's everything under my partner. So my partner, he was like, he's in charge for all that. You know, some of detail, honestly, I don't know.
But it was so it was one of his employees that was painting?
Yes,
And it was after hours, later at night?
yes.
Anything further for the council?
No.
Ms. Wyatt, we're gonna let you to redirect after all questions. Mr. Vega, any recross?
you by the Burke Stanza Law Firm by a certified mail. In it, in point one, this was a letter dated June 27, 2024, so prior to that July 4th incident. And it says that any work on the vehicles that can be construed as work that would be specific to a body shop is to stop. That's in the first point of the letter, is that correct, sir?
Can you please repeat the date of the letter?
It speaks for
June
itself.
27th.
I don't object to it, admission of it.
Okay.
Exhibit A, it looks like it's not
So
a
the
number.
date of the letter is June 27, 2024. I apologize, I only have one copy here.
That's
but
fine.
It says, any work on vehicles that can be construed as work that would be specific to a body shop is to stop. Midwest Motor was approved and licensed as a mechanical shop only. If you wish to operate as a body repair shop, all guidelines and federal regulations must be followed and all necessary approvals must be obtained, including but not limited to approval of the planning commission. That's point one. So that letter was issued prior to that July 4th incident, correct, sir?
That's what I see the letter, that's the first time I'm seeing it.
And it's your testimony that your business partner ever showed you or discussed with you that letter?
This letter, no, I didn't see it.
No further questions.
Ms. Wyatt, any redirect?
Well, just regarding this last exhibit, are we calling it Exhibit A?
We can call it Exhibit 6. I just called it Exhibit A because that's what was already labeled
Okay.
for the ease of the board.
So, with regard to Exhibit 6, there's a line that says that your partner was to sign this, but he didn't sign it, did he? This is blank.
I don't know.
Okay. And do we have any copies from the town that have my client's signature on it?
Let me just check real fast, Ms. Wyatt. I know we do have, proof of payment of a fine regarding that letter. When there was a meeting between me, your client, his partner, Chief Mance, and Rick Ripa.
And they paid a fine of $500?
That's correct.
And it shows that the letter was sent by certified mail, but I don't see the return receipt for it. So I can't tell if it actually got to my client.
Well, your client testified that he has no knowledge of it, right?
Correct.
And the other client is not here to testify. Let me just find it. Getting to July. Is that June 24th?
June 27 is the date of the letter.
I have the tracking receipt. Let me just look up on USPS website and I could get the confirmation of delivery. Yeah, I have proof of receipts on June 25th.
The letter dated June 27.
Yeah, we have a cease and desist letter. Let me see where it's at. June 25th. But the June 24th. Make sure this isn't a chart file. We have proof of delivery of a cease and desist dated June 24th.
I'm talking about the June 27 letter that states these conditions for their license.
See, your wall,
Well, that's a part of.
It's a different correspondence. It's the previous to this was the June 24th letter sent to him that he received, but not to that one. I'll find that one right now. So for the boards, what we're looking at is that was a second letter on June 27th sent by me on behalf of the town council. On June 24th, I sent our original cease and desist letter, which we have proof of delivery regarding the same issues. I'm gonna have to continue to look. I don't have that.
Okay, let's, for the sake of time, let's move this along, please. So,
Well, that was my only question here regarding that letter, so I don't have anything further. I mean, my position is that this may not have been received by my clients. It's
Okay.
not signed by them.
Understood.
that's fair.
We do have, what I do have is our July 6th email from your client, scheduling a July 18th meeting that I mentioned earlier with you guys here at Town Hall. I imagine it was a response from the letter.
Okay.
Any other questions? Anyone?
No, one question for Mr. Stelk again. Pretty much a quick yes or no. Or when was the last time you saw painting done at the facility?
4th of July.
Okay, all right, thanks.
Any other questions based on that question?
No.
Closing? 2 minutes? 2 minutes closing. We're good with that? All right. 2 minutes
Okay, go
closing.
ahead.
Let's go.
For the board, as I mentioned earlier, their license was granted back in June, and since then, we've had multiple issues. Quite frankly, the most serious issue is the body shop issue, where we have evidence that they were at least aware that they weren't supposed to be using this business as a body shop, and one of the business partners admitting that in July 4th, at least, there was painting done at the business. Yes, that is a business, but they are residents right next to that property, and that's one of the reasons why that business just can't be used as a body shop. It's affecting the residents here in Griffith. Secondly, the issues with the trailers. The business partner didn't say that someone was living there. He did admit that there was clothing there. And frankly, no permits for those trailers to be where they were. They had to be hauled. Mr. Steve Selk had to take time of his day to find businesses that would haul these trailers out of there. And then we also have the issue with the property being worked on the north side that's also affecting neighbors, where Mr. Stelk has said that there is flooding issues of actual residents, their neighbors, now being affected because proper permits weren't being done. And for those reasons, I've asked that unfortunately their license be revoked. Thank you.
All right, and our position is that this is a good and legitimate business, and it's an advantage, it's a benefit for the town of Griffith. There has been a business on that same location for many years doing similar work, and that was a body shop, it sounded like. So, this is not unique to have this commercial building. I went out there today, you can see the residential neighborhood just to the north of their property line. However, this business is planning to expand within their property and enclose the whole property with like a 12-foot fence that they have on the other side of their property, on the west side. And it looks great. And it will shield all of the neighborhood and any cars on Broad Street from any visual obstruction. So this is a legitimate business that wants to invest in the town of Griffith. They have had some slip-ups. I think that it may be a language barrier. My client testified that they believed when they sent that first contractor in there that he was getting the permit for the whole area. I don't know who shaded in that area, highlighted that area just within the west side. But it is not my client's intention to run afoul of the town. He's testified to that, and they do want to continue to invest and provide service for the residents of Griffith. So I respectfully ask that you do not revoke their license and that you allow them to continue within the parameters of the town's codes to operate their business. Thank you.
Mr. Estrada, did you have anything to add for the council?
I don't, just that, just for the town, that, we did meet with them, they did pay a fine out of other issues, but soon after, this came to light again. So, right now, the town council has the, duty and responsibility to, make a motion either to deny Mr. Vega's request, approve it, or come up with its own remedy that they seem fit as of now, but we should not, and ultimately, you can take it under advisement if you like for the next meeting, which is the 22nd? 29th? We're not meeting on the
They were 22nd and 29th, yeah. No, that's study session.
That's study session,
Oh, okay.
my apologies. So the 29th, and the public hearing to render your decision if you'd like to review the exhibits and deliberate a bit on it.
Okay.
Do that.
All right, so like I mentioned earlier, I think we've got two issues here. One is you were doing work without a permit, or the contractor was that happens unfortunately. Sometimes it's not good, but you're still ultimately responsible for that. And the second, what I think is more serious, is the fact that you guys were painting in a residential area, which homes right there, with the fumes going out there, with the spray going out. And it seems to state that it was an employee, or maybe somebody's friend of an employee, question why it's done late at night. Maybe it was the bosses weren't there and they did that. I don't think there's any doubt that there was painting going on, and that was a serious thing. And it wouldn't be so bad if you weren't advised that you can't operate a body shop without going in front of the BZA again. So I don't know what the thoughts are of the rest of the council. I'm not sure that we want it. I would, at least myself, I'm not sure I'd be willing to pull a business license right now for doing work without a permit until we get any more, because there might be some reasons that we haven't heard why that happened. Apparently your contractor did it without telling you, from what you're saying. But the fact that you're doing a body shop and doing stuff that wasn't allowed in the BZA, I guess, did you have an appeal? Was there one in place, or they got approved by the BZA to operate?
There was a BZA favor recommendation and approval by this body to sell cars.
That's right.
Yeah, and mechanical
Okay.
on the property, not to do body shop. Then there's some more permits and
Okay.
applications filings. So
And I know that we're past the testimony side, but nobody asked if they actually sold one car during the whole time of the year plus that they're in there. So I would defer to the council. We could look at make a
I'd
room.
recommend that we, review the information that we have, think on it, and make a decision at the October 29th meeting.
Okay. Mr. Bala?
Oh, second, was that a motion, or?
That was a motion.
Okay, I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion, a second to continue this to October 29th. Is there any discussion?
I think one of the other things that needs to be looked at too is that the stone that was added on the north side of the building, apparently it's causing flooding, for the neighbor. No permit was gotten for that gravel, I don't believe. And if that gravel is gonna remain, then we need to see some engineering done, how they're going to mitigate any water runoff going into the neighbor's property because of the stone there. You know, are we talking about putting in some type of drain? Are we talking about taking the stone out and replacing it back with the soil and grass that were there? Or that's the
Yeah.
point I think needs to
Yeah,
be
good
addressed
point.
too.
All right, any other, we're in the middle of a motion, so any other discussion? After the motion, I'll request some documents, possibly if they can be made available from our side and your side possibly. So, all in favor of the motion and continuing this until October 29th, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The motion carries. If possible, could we get any police reports and any other, were there other police, and if there are any other police reports prior to July 4th? As well as any witnesses, I believe, from the fire personnel that may have saw the paint and the exhaust fumes, or whatever you want to call it, from the paint.
So what we'll do is we'll get those, Mr. Vega, we'll get it to Ms. Wyatt will then, and then we'll get it to the town council all in one email, so everyone gets all the information at the same time.
Okay.
And may I ask if there is a complaint about the flooding, if there's any documentation of that? I'd like to have that as well.
And that's going to be a separate issue as well, aside from this business license. If in any form that you're allowed to continue, you're going to either have to go in front of the plan commission or meet with or look at the permits with our building department, see if you're required to go in front of the plan commission.
Well,
When
Mr.
I-
President, I think even if he's not allowed to continue, since
Yeah.
it's there, he's gonna have to remedy it regardless
Yes.
if the business there is not.
Yeah, I was gonna say that two separate issues. He owns the building personally, and then the business operates out of there, so that's a,
That's why I said that's separate from
Yeah,
this license,
yeah.
as far as him owning the property.
yeah.
So, okay. All right, that is the end of that matter. At this time, we're gonna convene this meeting and open a water board meeting. And could we please have a roll call for the water board?
Parker, Larry Balla,
Present?
Rick Riffa,
Present.
Melissa Robbins, Tony Hudson.
Present.
Right, each member received a copy of the September 17th minutes. What's the pleasure?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The motion carries. Could we have the claims, please?
Claims totaling $180,556.31.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. We have no announcements or communications. There is no business for this, no pending business for this meeting. Anything from the board that needs to be discussed? All right, pending none of that, is there any public comment on the water board? All right, this meeting is adjourned. We will go back to the town council. Anything left, anything else from the council? All right, we'll open the floor for public comment. If there's a comment or a question, just please state your name. Hi.
Jackie Braun. I just have two quick little things. What is a town council executive session? Is that open to the public?
That is, its exec session is, within state law, it allows the town council to discuss things such as litigation. In this case, we will actually be discussing employment and the procedure.
It's a private meeting.
Oh, no, I wouldn't say private. It's a public meeting.
State statute to be confidential between the town executive for certain issues outlined in the statute. And
Okay, so-
there'll be notice of what we're discussing, and then a memo afterwards stating what we discussed and who was in attendance after.
Oh, okay.
And in this case, we will be discussing the hiring process, in particular of our police chief, our next police chief.
Oh, okay.
So, and when, the subsequent interviews will also be in an executive session, correct, Mr. Estrada? So would not be fair for any candidate who is gonna be applying for a police chief to sit in on the other interviews. So that's the purpose for that and the purpose for excluding on this meeting.
Okay. And then, so have there been any candidates for that building department?
We will be posting that position shortly as well.
Oh, okay. And then just the other thing, can you explain why there's a warranty deed for Top Park? What was the deed?
The deed is basically, I believe we deeded it over to the park department. The reason being, the town of Griffith owned that property. The Griffith Park Department applied for a grant from the Indiana DNR, Department of Natural Resources. It was $1 million grant, correct? Or 500,000, it was $1 million worth of work with a $500,000 match. So in order for them to start reimbursing us for or reimburse us for the $500,000 for the work that was done, they wanted to see that the property be in the same name as the application was for the DNR applications, which was the parks put the application in, but the town actually owned the property. So in this case, now the park owns the property, and then then DNR says, okay, we can start reimbursing you.
Okay, and is that what was done in Top Park? Was that the state park?
There was a ton of stuff, yeah, the skate park, they redid the basketball, the new pavilion, a whole bunch of stuff, yeah, they did a great job, actually,
Yeah.
so.
Yes, so if I could explain, Tim Downer, President of the Park Board. So part of that, part of the deed process, when you get money from the federal government, for those types of projects, they just put some language on the property. Let's say 30 years from now, there's a new council, and, hey, we're gonna build a senior living foundation, do it at the park completely. Like, DNR might say, whoa, time out, let's take a look at that, maybe put park somewhere else. And so they'll have a little bit of swing in that, if you want to change it from the park and do something else with it. If they're gonna give you money for a project, and they're gonna have to say what you do with
We have to see that we owe it, we know what to do with
but
it.
once it's a park, they wanna keep it that way. But if there's a logical reason to change it, then they're okay with that, but they'll have some input into that discussion.
All right, any other comments or questions this evening?
No, I'm good.
Are you sure? We got all sorts of time, it's only 8:25. All right. All right,